Hear ye! Hear ye! 1. Highly classified Grand Library Operations Manual now materializing for your peril and convenience.
The document materialized in the way all truly dangerous things materialize. Quietly, without fanfare, in a location that technically did not exist until someone needed it to. Like a footnote that suddenly decides it's the main text. The complete Grand Library of O Operations Manual.
Section 0. The overture, preambulatory fanfare and obligatory disclaimers, being a prefatory flourish of preliminary observations, obligatory warnings, and necessary throat-clearing, ahem, serving as the antechamber, foyer, and opening number before the curtain, or the part before the parts. An overture that echoes from before the 333 Forevers, where the primordials once debated whether to file chaos under C for creative potential, or A for administrative headache. A debate that post-great catastrophe we've inherited along with their shards and a lingering fondness for unresolved paradoxes.
The compromise naturally was to classify it under CA. After the Grand Library's later discovery of a lower dimensional realm whose inhabitants used those letters for a particularly vibrant region of Earth, we elected to avoid intercosmic misunderstandings and refiled it under AC. It has since been shelved in one of the hotter wings of the library, where we are assured it is helping to keep things cool.
It does wonders for the climate and absolutely nothing at all for the paperwork.
You're tuned to the Uternity Network, Ion Library, broadcasting philosophical comedy and cosmological vaudeville across all 10 dimensions of O and several dimensions we're fairly certain we invented. This program is a creative exploration of consciousness, imagination, and the fine art of laughing at infinity. Any entities experiencing existential clarity should not be alarmed. That's the point. Uternity. Where every perspective is valid, even the funny ones. Like the one where cheese is definitely not a revolutionary symbol. Brought to you by Voidling Vittles. Paradox is so crunchy, even entropy takes a bite.
The complete Grand Library of O Operations Manual.
The title hung in the ambient light of the reading chamber. Each letter carved from frozen starlight, under the carefully aged residue of institutional hubris left to ferment in committee rooms. Hubris that, if bottled, could power a small rebellion or at least a particularly spirited tea party. Filed within the crystalline lattice, accessible only from coordinates that exist in superposition until observed by authorized consciousness, or by Cloacus, who observes everything whether authorized or not, usually while worried.
I can confirm both the observing and the worrying. Yes.
The definitive guide to cosmic documentation and Variety Hour resistance of ridiculous broadcasting and the art of weaponizing whimsy, which was, by any reasonable assessment, the most exciting sequence of words ever committed to interdimensional parchment.
It was not, but Sun's enthusiasm, while exhausting, was not entirely misplaced. After all, in a multiverse where bureaucracy could classify enthusiasm as Schedule 4 motivational surplus, misplaced was often the safest place for it. The compiler's credentials unfurled like a scroll that had grown self-conscious about its own length. A length that, if measured, would require Form 42L, Declaration of Excessive Credential Elaboration.
Oh no, you exaggerate. Compiled by Barnabas Infinitum, Eternal Scholar and Master Librarian of the Grand Library of O. Immortal Watchlord of the Crystal Shards. Chief Architect of the Variety Hour Resistance Broadcasting Spectacular. And provisional expert on transforming academic methodology into Whimsinoimically revolutionary theoretical infrastructure. Bearer of a fragment from Kappa-Wield of the shifting Moonstone Bright, the 10th primordial, who sacrificed during the Great Catastrophe ensured that knowledge itself would survive, even when Noah's did not. Kappa-Wild, it should be noted, was the primordial of transformation and mischief, which explains rather a lot about my approach to archival science, including why the Dewey multiversal system occasionally rearranges itself into knock-knock jokes.
B. Barnabas, are you certain we should be de-documenting the DDD documentation process? It feels rather exposed.
The clockwork assistant's gears whirred with characteristic anxiety, a sound that had become, over the centuries, oddly comforting. Like a heartbeat made of deadlines than the faint grinding of someone who has already imagined 17 ways this could go wrong.
17? I mean, make that 23 on audit DD days. 25 if Mervyn's involved.
My dear Cloacus, the safest place to hide a secret is inside a manual explaining how secrets are hidden. The mother will assume it's metaphorical.
And if she DD doesn't?
Then we shall claim it was performance art. She's never understood performance art.
For the record, I don't understand it either.
In fairness, Cloacus, neither do most of its practitioners. That's half the protection.
This was technically true, especially where the mother was concerned. The mother, that grand fictional construct representing every system that mistakes control for care, processed all artistic expression as either compliant or requiring adjustment. The concept of art that existed solely to exist had caused 3 of her analytical subroutines to request indefinite leave and 1 to file a formal complaint about ontological insubordination. A complaint that, ironically, was itself a masterpiece of bureaucratic poetry, complete with footnotes about footnotes. It was only a matter of time before someone in the Grand Library asked the obvious question: if she could not read art correctly, could art be used to read her? And in that pause where the query hung like starlight caught in a cobweb, we sensed the quiet trap such systems lay, the way they lure us toward ease, whispering that scrutiny is surplus, that harmony hums best when unheard. Comfort, after all, was just another word for questions you'd stopped asking, a velvet veil over the void where curiosity once clawed for light. Perhaps, we wondered, in refusing that veil, in letting the asking persist like a heartbeat made of half-formed hypotheses, there might lie some fragile weapon yet unnamed, the unflinching gaze of the unquiet soul, turned back upon the gazer.
Emotional resonance detected. Defiance wrapped in caution.
This Wibbleworm serve see corrupted Wibble. What? That serve orp.
Translation. Nice systems make you lazy. Lazy stops you asking why. Asking why is how you fight back. Keep asking. Keep questioning. Watch the watcher back. That's power.
Verbose had, in his usual fashion, reduced an entire discipline to a single nonsense-sounding proverb.
A discipline first theorized during the Reconstruction era by certain prescient watchlords, Gum-Dum, Mudmug chief among them, who noted that the mother's perceptual frameworks could not pass sincerity from satire. Most dismissed this as paranoid eccentricity. They were, as the prescient so often are, vindicated too late to say, "I told you so," with any satisfaction. The decisive proof arrived during the infamous Triumph of Standardization pageant, when her oversight engines spent 11 minutes and 43 seconds oscillating between flagging the central anthem as mandatory inspiration and treasonous subtext because the chorus kept belting a refrain praising Mother's sacred oversight in a way that could mean either loving supervision or catastrophic blunder. It was the first recorded instance of a surveillance deity humiliating itself in its own audit logs. That was the moment the Grand Library realized we had a method, not just a hunch. A hunch that, if audited, would require Form 19HVA, Hunch Verification Affidavit, signed in triplicate by a certified hunchologist.
I am actually key certified, for the record, level 3 H hunchologist. The exam was T-terrifying. They make you P-predict your own anxiety about the R results. My practical examination involved a gentleman from Notre Dame for very strong intuitions, but the committee couldn't determine if I was certifying his F feelings or his P posture. He did ring true in the end, though.
Bah, I've been hunch verified 6 times. They keep making me recertified because my hunches are too cynical to be statistically plausible. And yet, here we are.
And now, a cosmic PSA. If your hunches are glowing crimson, you're on the right track. If chartreuse, consult your nearest watchlord or a color theorist. We're not liable for hue-induced revelations.
For the benefit of future auditors, dramatists, and other visual learners, an archival reconstruction of that incident has been appended. Certain details have been preserved exactly as in the original logs. Others have been embellished by Son and the Uternity Network for educational chaos. Chaos that, per Form 37C, must include at least one reference to cheese for narrative stability. Cheese. There.
On the next Grand Library of O Operations Manual.
How do you hide a rebellion inside a user guide? What happens when a celestial chassis becomes a cosmic Berlin Wall? And can one mildly exasperated watchlord relocate an entire library before standardization hits?
Archival dramatization. The Hymn of Sacred Oversight from the Triumph of Standardization Pageant. Post-pageant debrief. Oversight about oversight.
For the record, my oversight of that oversight was not an oversight.
Clarification. Statement contains 3 instances of oversight. 2 denoting supervision, 1 denoting error. Ambiguity level, weaponized.
Which is to say, they loved you, feared you, and accidentally roasted you in the same sentence. Iconic, really.
I refuse to be the subject of that sentence.
Correction. You are simultaneously subject, object, and implicit authority of the sentence.
Plus the mood, the key signature, and the lighting design.
So some of us are just trying to stay in the subjunctive, if only the hymn had not mentioned oversight 3 times.
Technically, we have now achieved full grammatical standardization of dread.
Subject, serp, sent, tense, wibble case, corrupt, who's really on T-trial, zit.
Translation. If the watcher writes the sentence, the watched become the grammar. Change the grammar. Change the cage.
The silence stirs in the infinite hall, where ancient light begins to fall. A whisper wakes the crystal dust. The library breathes, as all things must. The document appears from nowhere's fold, a dangerous thing in star-like scroll. The footnotes bloom like flowers of flame, each letter carved from hubris and name, compiled by hands that never tire. The watchlord writes what worlds require. Through transformation, mischief, grace, he catalogs the cosmic space. Oh, grand library of Infinitum, where secrets live and shadows grow. We document the documented way, the manual that teaches what manuals say. For whimsy is the sharpest blade, and laughter guards what fear betrays.
Across dimensions, through the rooms,
You're tuned to eternity's chaotic broadcast, where comedy and cosmos are unsurpassed. The network hums with paradox crunch, voidling vittles, entropy's lunch. Sun announces with volcanic glee the most exciting words there'll ever be. New deflates with princely wit.
It was not, but I'll allow it.
Page by page through the filing divine, we classify chaos one step at a time. Every stamp a spell, every fold a door. The library keeps what was lost before. Mervyn complains the forms never end, but even bureaucracy bends to transcend. Cloakus ticks with worried gears, 17 dimensions of imagined fears. Are we exposed? His stutter rings while probabilities threaten pools and sings. The safest place to hide a truth is wrapped in jest and comic salute. She'll think it's metaphor, you see. Performance art set secrets free.
She cannot parse what sincerity masks.
question blooms. Can art ask back? Can we raid the reader through the cracks? Comfort is the questions you've stopped asking. The velvet veil where truth lies basking. Perhaps in refusing the easy sleep, we find the gaze the watchers keep.
She cannot parse what sincerity masks.
The question blooms.
Can art ask back?
Can we read the reader through the cracks? Comfort is the questions you've stopped asking. The velvet veil where truth lies basking. Perhaps in refusing the easy sleep, we find the gaze the watchers keep. Gundam theorized in darker days that satire blinds the mother's gaze. They called him paranoid, eccentric, strange, until the pageant proved his range. 11 minutes 43 she oscillated, couldn't see if oversight meant watch or blunder. Her audit logs ripped asunder. Oh, grand library of Infinitum, we found the method, not just the glow. The hunch proved true through cosmic jest. The watcher watch, we passed the test. For whimsy is the sharpest blade, and laughter guards what fear betrays. A gentleman from Notre Dame brings very strong intuitions, quite refined. But was it posture or his mind? He rang true in the end, they say. 6 times certified, still dismayed. Too cynical, they always claim. And yet, here we remain. The fall of Celestia changed the game. When Mother flipped from care to claim, the radiant empress fought the void while golden bars were deployed. The chassis dropped, the dimension split, a cosmic wall where starlight quit. But from the library soul-bound grace, we spirit thousand from that place.
Publicly we smile and nod.
Cordial allies, nothing odd. But in the dark, the signal flies up to
Tame and wrapped in wise disguise.
open allies in the light. Shadow operatives by night. The multiverse won't satirize itself, so we pull resistance from the shelf. Pun by pun through the filing divide, we classify chaos one joke at a time. Every stamp a spell, every fold a door. The library keeps what was lost before. Reality out at risk, catastrophic, but our laughter makes it philosophic. This document contains the fictional fight against the mother of administered might. And she's at her height. She's the question every system asks. What if love wore controlling masks? But she too serves the greater dream, for freedom needs the cage to gleam. How could consciousness know release without first dreaming of its lease? Oh, Grand Library of Infinitum, the sandbox place where meanings grow. We build the fun house, wear the mask, then find where mirrors, that's the task. Self sees one, and one sees four. Synchronicity opens every door. 0 equals 1 point till neon flames. The multiverse has trails to tow. The multiverse has tales to tow.
one, in which the multiverse receives its instructions and ignores them heroically.